Mix, Mingle, and Learn. And I am currently doing a rebrand with the wonderful guru, branding guru, as I call her, Miss Anita Scruggs, who will be facilitating with us today as well. So there are great things going on for women entrepreneurs. So this is just another tool that we're going to add into the mix to help us to continue to go higher in everything that God has called us to do. Anita Scruggs is the owner, CEO of Curlz Curves. When I heard that, I had no idea it had something to do with graphics and design and all that good stuff. So I can't wait to hear how she came up with the name of her business, as well as all the great tools that she'll be introducing us to today. So with that being said, that's just a brief introduction of who I am, who Anita is. Of course, it's deeper than that, but today we're going to be talking all things branding. We're going to be discussing how your brand is way more than just your logo, which I am learning. Miss Anita has taught me well with this new rebrand I'm doing with her. So you're in for a treat, to say the least. So with all of that being said, I will go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Anita, and we will get started with this branding workshop. Definitely feel free to post any questions, comments in the Facebook page, and we can unmute you and get and answer your questions that way.
Okay, you guys, I'm just pulling up the Facebook Live just to make sure it's still in there and kicking, because I definitely want to keep that in that group just for later. So like Miss Pam said, I am Anita. I am the CEO of Curlz Curves. I'm the janitor. I am the graphic designer. I am the consultant. I am the, you text me at 9 o'clock and I wonder what's wrong with your life person of Curlz Curves. Everything that has to do with Curlz Curves, which is graphic design and just small business consulting. I don't sell lingerie. I don't sell waist snatchers, none of that. A lot of people assume that when they hear the name, but I'm going to tell you where I got it from and why I will be actually changing the name and kind of incorporating other things. So first of all, to be completely honest, let's talk about how I got started in my business. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go between two different screens. If you already downloaded the workbook, the worksheet, I'll kind of be going into that as well. And kind of following that, because it truly is a display of what branding is. Let's go in. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so who is Anita? Like, who am I? And that's the same question that you're going to ask yourself when we get into what branding is. Like, who are you? So I'm just regular old Nita, stay-at-home mom and wife. I decided that I needed a change. I really dove into this title of being a mom and being a wife. My son has special needs. Someone needed to be at home to kind of be there for appointments and things like that. And in the process of doing that, I literally lost myself. I started just being somebody's wife and somebody's mama. And I didn't realize it until it was almost too late. I remember just so vaguely, like sitting at, I think it was Thanksgiving, and everybody at the table was talking about what they had going on. My mother-in-law was talking about work and, you know, how she had to let somebody go. My husband's talking about work and how he hired new staff and he's building a new team. My sister-in-law is talking about being a teacher and the kids and blah, blah, blah. Just everybody had something they're talking about. And I'm sitting at the table like, well, I kept the kids alive all week. That's the only thing I could say. Like, you know what? They got new fruit snacks at Walmart. And that's it. And, you know, it sounds funny, but that's literally what my life became. It was just everybody else. There was no Nita. Like the stuff that I like to do, the stuff that I love to do. Don't get me wrong. I love taking care of my kids. I love, you know, taking care of my husband and making sure everything is right. But my desires, like what makes me me, was out the window. Mm-hmm. I completely got into this I don't know, like a routine of thinking that I had to be here doing everything else, and all of my stuff sits back here somewhere in the land of I don't know. And then it didn't even dawn on me until I started making changes and started doing things that made me feel better, that I had to do it. So honestly, my journey into entrepreneurship started with me doing the big chop. Funniest story ever, but it's real. My best friend told me, she was like, girl, you need to cut those relaxed ends off. If you've ever gone natural, you go into this transition phase, if you're going to transition and cut the ends off, or you just go straight into the big chop. Now me, I was like, you tried it because I need my hair to be longer. I'll just grow it out and then cut the ends off. But you know what happens? The ends are straight. This part is puffy. So she was like, just cut it. I was like, no, you lying. What you want me to do, you cut your hair. Now you look like somebody's little brother. You want me to do it too. No, I'm not doing that. Well, you want me to look like you, and I'm not doing that. So long story short, I ended up cutting it off, realizing my head was too big to have short hair. Because what happens is shrinkage is real, right? If you're natural, you understand. Cut your hair, or you get it wet and then try to think you're going to air dry it. No, ma'am. So I went to go get some hair put in. It was just a disaster. All of this was fear. And this is where I'm going with this story. All of it started with fear. I was fearful of cutting my hair. Ended up doing it, just like cringing doing it. Realized my head was too big. Went and got the wig. I didn't like that. I was like scared of the wig. Then I was like, well, I'm just going to grow it out. What can I buy so I can grow my hair out overnight? What can I get so I can grow like at least 12, 14 inches tonight? Like literally. So I didn't want to invest in these supplements. I was like, you know what? I don't even have, my husband has never made me feel bad about spending money. We've always had a joint account and all of that. But I was like, I don't have money to be wasting on that. I tried it, loved the vitamins, started selling the vitamins. Then I started losing weight, getting into the other products in the company and all of that. And it just had this trickle effect. Somebody's echoing. So I decided to, I started my business and helping people with weight loss goals and beauty and fitness and all of that. So in that process, I knew being in this multi-level marketing company that I couldn't look like everybody else. I didn't want to show up on the screen with these scripted posts and all of that and I know y'all have seen it. You go on Facebook, you see somebody posting their special and they posting the same person's post that you saw in your previous feed. And it's so annoying, and you look over it because it looks the same. So that's how I learned what branding was. I was like, I have to stand out. I don't want to look like you. Like, that's crazy. I do not want to look like you or her. And because my people will not know how to recognize me. So I started doing my own branding. I started doing my own flyers. I created a logo. I created blogs. What I did literally, y'all, is I created a blog in I think about 8 states. So I understood that my reach, it was just crazy. I created a blog in Greenville and it reached, all of Greenville. So I was like, well, shoot, if I can reach Greenville, let me see what's in Atlanta. Let me see what's in Texas. Places where I'm not going to be able to go outside and walk around, where it's working while I'm asleep. So I created all of this stuff. And then I started attracting people that weren't just looking for the beauty and wellness business. They were looking for ways to brand themselves. And here comes fear again. I'm chilling on Facebook, minding my own business. Somebody tagged me in a post saying that somebody needs help with the website. Y'all, I completely ignored the post. I was like, I don't know. I'm not doing it because I'm scared. I don't want to do this. How fear jumps in, right? Fear is so crippling. If you let it, if you feed into that fear and like, oh, that's scary, turn around and walk away, you miss out on so much. So I literally was like, okay, maybe she'll see somebody else tagged and not, and then she'll just go somewhere else. A long story short, I ended up doing a website for this young lady for credit consulting, and it just went from there. It went nuts. Ever since, I think that was in October, it has been non-stop. And it all started with fear. All started with fear. Now, the Curlz and Curves name came from the beauty and wellness business because I was like, you know what? What am I going to call myself? Since I'm growing my hair out, I got curly hair, and, you know, my tagline at that point was slim your waist, but keep your curves, because I don't want to be nobody's stick figure. I like to have curves and all of that. And that's where it came from, Curlz and Curves. So after a while, everyone was referring to me, are you that Curlz and Curves girl? So I just stuck to the name. It was me. It was my brand. That's what, you know, I was taking them on the journey. And that's what branding is, literally a journey. Okay. So that's where the name came from, Pam.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. And so jumping into what branding is. So that was a lot of information of my business and how it got started. But that's what branding is. It's not this one thing that you buy or this one thing that you said, and then you're completely branded in a day. No, there's no deadline to be branded. You don't put a set time on when you're branded. There's not this one thing that you buy that makes you branded. It is a journey, literally. I am nothing like I was day one when they were tagging me on that post and I didn't know how to do X, Y, and Z of credit consulting and how to help her on certain. I am nothing like that anymore. Like, it is amazing. Some of the stuff that I used to do, some of the stuff that I, you know, would put out online or whatever I would do is completely different because it's a journey. You have to be learning in it. So step one in your branding journey, who are you? It's very simple. You guys, when you get online, right? Right now, there's a lot of brand, and I don't even call myself a branding guru. I'm just out here doing my thing. Like, really, just out here doing, serving, delivering on what it is I'm going to say, I'm going to give you. But it starts with, who are you? What is the purpose? What is your why? You're going to hear that so much. When I got into all these webinars and started watching these things, I'm like, okay, people keep talking about what your why is, but my why was too simple. When I say too simple, my why was so I can take care of my kids.
I've said it too.
My kids. And if you look at that workbook or the digital download that I gave you, I put in there your kids. That's not enough. It's not enough. It doesn't mean that you don't love your kids or you don't love your husband or you don't love your mom that you want to impress or whatever. Why are you doing this for you? And what is the whole entire purpose of what it is that you're going to be doing it? Who are you fully? Like, really ask yourself, who are you? And that was the best part of my branding and business journey, is really discovering who Anita is. Mm-hmm. And it hurt, to be honest. There was a lot of stuff that I was like, dang, girl, like, ooh, I had to pull my husband to the side and I had to tell, I'm sorry, like, dang, my bad. You know, it really understanding who you are and writing down some things. And, you know, the biggest eye opener was seeing other people and seeing myself in other people and learning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we can't do that no more. But really going on this journey to discover who I am, what type of things are fulfilling to me. Because you can't go out in any type of space in any type of field or any kind of business and try to help others, and you don't truly know what's fulfilling to you. It's kind of, you know, have this domino. It'll work for a while sometimes when you think you know what you want, or you think, oh, that's cute, I'm gonna try that or whatever. But you will always end up back at square one. Always, when you go out and try to chase these superficial things, you have to stop and really truly understand, like, who am I? Who am I unapologetically? Who am I not caring what nobody else thinks? Who am I truly? Mm-hmm. And you have to start there. Otherwise, you start coming out, you won't be able to maintain whatever this facade is, whatever this front that we put on, whether we try to think we're perfect or whatever, to say that we got it all together. You have to be honest about who you are. And the reason why I have here, people don't buy what you do. They buy what you do. They buy why you do it. They buy why you do. Why are you in this? And there's an attachment to it, because truly, especially if you're in consulting or you're working one-on-one with people want to be, it's a security blanket. Like, why I want you in my space if you ain't even sure about what you got going on for you? Like, you have to show up in a space that is, and when I say unapologetic, I don't mean you go out and yelling at folks and you being rude for no reason and blah, 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 and take me as I am and all of that. What I mean by that is the person that you are, you can't dole down your beliefs and all of that because you're afraid that you're going to turn other people off. Honestly, that's what you have to do. You want people that are for you in your space. You are only going to attract who is for you by being you. You can't go out here pretending to be this, I don't even know what to call it, and then wonder, who is this? Like, who are you? Why are you here? Because you don't know how to communicate with this person or these people, because you can't maintain this facade or this, I don't even know, this character. You have to really dig deep and figure out who you are. What is the purpose of what you're doing? What is the end goal? Why are you in here? Why are you in this space? And I'll be completely honest. You will have to revisit that place. Sometimes you start out with this initial thought. That's why I give a lot of wiggle room when it comes to branding. I don't mean one day you like, you know what, I'm gonna do makeup, and then the next day you like, you know what, I'm gonna build washer and dryers for a different. It doesn't mean that every single day you are changing what it is that you're delivering, but give some wiggle room on your desires. What is it that is truly fulfilling? How do I fulfill others? How do I align those so they dance together and is beautiful harmony? How do you define that so you can put them together? So what is your brand? Now, if you've ever heard me speak, I say this over and over, and I make everybody say it. Your brand is not your logo. No, I can't tell you how many times I've been tagged, especially when I first started my journey into brand design. I would do one logo, y'all, literally. This is when I just did a la carte services, where I would just do a logo, just do a flyer, or just do a business card or whatever. I'll give somebody one logo and they'd be like, ooh, Nita did it again. Your girl is branded. Tag, 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 like and share, and it would just be too much. And I'll be like, at first I was like, yeah, I did do that, didn't I? You branded, girl, until I understood what branding was, and branding got tough, and I truly understood the essence of branding, what it is, and how you have to really not just look at these things aesthetically, like your flyers and stuff like that is a huge impact on your brand. But honey, sometimes we be out here dressing a whole mess because we haven't defined who we are and who it is that we're delivering. So your brand is not your logo. Actually, you should start with the previous slide that I have on here, which is who you are, the purpose of what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Exactly why. Go back into, you see, I have your brand is not your logo again, because I'm a firm believer. It don't stop at the logo. Don't nobody care about your logo like that. I mean, it's nice to have. It's a good reference. It's a good statement piece almost. It's like, oh, that's cute. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all something. If you go on to my Instagram page, if you go down probably 6 months, you didn't even see my logo. But I was designing logos. So what does that tell you? The messaging trumps. It trumps that. You have to make sure that your messaging is on point. You have to make sure you know who you're talking to. You have to study them. Study yourself, study them, and then meet them in the middle. Because I'm telling you, there's so many people that get a logo, think they're branded, get out here in this entrepreneurial thug street is what I call it. Get out here and get so confused and so discouraged because they're dependent on this one element to build their business, when that's not how it works. All right, a promise well kept. Keep your promise. That's it, literally. When you go out here and branding, your branding is telling them what it is that you offer and deliver that thing. Promise and deliver. You don't want to overpromise. You don't want to go out here and say that you are the God of all gods, and then you come back looking like, what? Well, that ain't what you said. That's not what you said. So you under promise and over deliver. It always wins. When you under promise and over deliver, I'm telling you, it will knock your client's socks off. Like, have you ever had a good example? Have you ever ordered something, and it may just be me, but the shipping on it says 7 days, and then you get it in 3? What? So you telling me I was expecting to get this on Friday, here it is Tuesday, and it's at my door? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel important, right? So under promise and over delivery. And then when it comes to your promise, we all have business ideas, right? Of what it is that we want to put out there. We have this genius idea, and it's like, oh, I'm going to give this. Everybody going to buy it. It is so amazing. But have you studied about whether or not people need it? That's another thing when it comes to running your business and branding and trying to really put yourself out there and start a business. What do they really need? And how can you fit that into what you provide? And that's why I have these two here: what they need, what you provide, and the communication between the two. How do you look into the industry, your community, or whatever, and see what is truly needed, doing your market research, studying, seeing what is all out here? Like, oh my gosh, they need such and such, such and such. Then go back into your bag of goodies, your bag of skills, and deliver that. Communicate so they dance together. It's in perfect harmony. Like, woo, you got to show up on the scene like, oh my God, Anita is exactly what I needed. She is exactly what I needed. Because, and the reason you do that is if you just go by, not saying that you shouldn't have great ideas on standby and all of that, but when you create the idea and hope somebody wants it, you get in trouble. You get discouraged when it doesn't work out the way the plan is in your head. I don't know how many of you all have already started a business, or you've had like this genius idea and you're like, oh, this is going to be popping, and I'm a lunch, and it's just I can't lunch yet though, because I don't want everybody to be all in my inbox and stuff yet. So I ain't ready. But then you lunch it, and then it's like, I mean, did y'all hear me or did y'all hear me? Like, because it's quiet up in here. But have you asked what the need is? Have you looked and seen, really observed what the true need is and how you can match that with your skills? When I say condense the trends, I mean, look around. Of course, you're going to have things everywhere. Don't get so trendy that you blend in. Everybody is trying to do this branding thing, right? And what branding is an opportunity for you to stand out. That's what your brand is. It picks you out of the crowd. So if you look at the trends, you want to stay on trend, but you don't want to be that person that is so blended in that you just become that other photographer. You just become that other graphic designer. You just become such and such. You become almost invisible when you do that, when you just, oh, I'm going to go with what they doing. Everybody doing this right now, and you don't put your special sauce on it. You just start looking like everybody else. So Pam need to put her Pam sauce on it. Nita needs to put her Nita sauce on it. All of that. So observe your market, see what is on trend. And the reason I say look at the trends is because they've already done some research, right? Everybody's gravitating towards what's working, but you can't just grab it, take it out the box and use it as is. You put your own stuff on it. So your people can understand, she for me. Oh, she for me. I got to have Nita. Nita has to have my stuff. Like my messaging. Now, like a lot of people do Canva tutorials or design tutorials and things like that. But I put a spin on it for my market, not just in my presentation, but when I market it, because I understand the person that I want to attract for that type of thing in my business. I understand that she's up late at night. So if you follow me on Instagram, you notice that I post a lot at midnight because my ideal client is a mom. She's a wife. She's still understanding, or she's in this awkward phase of trying to figure out how to put her needs in with everything else, with lifestyle. So she's still in that awkward phase where she's taking care of home, but she doesn't quite have her needs on the back burner, but she's still doing it at the end of the day. When everybody has gone to bed and the house is quiet and she has her me time, I know she's online. I know she's working on her brand aesthetic. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to figure this thing out. She does one graphic, y'all, and she get pissed off and close it. She's like, you know what, forget this. I don't even want to do this no more. Then that's where I come in on the newsfeed. I'm like, hey, boo, I know you working on your brand. I can show you how to do that at midnight. I'm either saying that blatantly or I'm saying that passively by giving her encouragement. You may see me doing a lot of encouraging posts, motivational posts. She sees that at midnight. I'm saying, you know what, boo, it's okay. You working on you. Take your time. Do what you need to do. Or I'm popping up. I'm saying, look, tonight we going to bed, girl. I see you at working tonight. Go to bed. It'll be there tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Self-care first or whatever. She sees that. She goes back to my news feed. Then she's like, oh, that's what I've been needing. That's what I've been needing. And then when she comes into my business, I've already defined who this person is. I already know what her habits are. I know what type of person she is. She's a mom. She's a wife. I'll probably understand how to communicate with her really well. Because moms and wives, we talk on a whole nother level, right? When you have to balance a life, we connect on levels that you don't even understand. Let me make sure I put this thing off. And let's go. So I already touched on this. What's your advantage? 7 billion people in this world. Girl, why you? Pretty much. And that's what branding is. When I'm looking in the crowd, what is going to make me stop on you? Like, oh, I need that. Like, I need to work with her. Or I need her t-shirt. Or I need this service, whatever it is that you offer. It doesn't even have to be a tangible product. It could be a blog. It can be a YouTube channel, blogging, any of that. Why you? What exactly is your advantage? What do you offer that nobody else offers? And sometimes we think that we have to overcompensate in some of these other areas when really you don't really have to add anything extra. Take, for instance, Aldi and Walmart. Crazy example, right? Walmart has competitive pricing, but they got 50 lanes and only 3 people at the cash register, right? You go to Aldi, they have competitive prices. They have off-brand products. You do have to bring your buggy in there, but the prices are like bomb, right? You don't have to wait in line all day. If you got kids, you go in there, you put your quarter in the buggy. Kids excited about seeing the quarter in the buggy. You get in there, you get your stuff, you get out. You get out. Aldi doesn't have to do all this extra advertising. Their produce is always on sale. It looks fresh. They use that to their advantage. Mm-hmm. Where they lack in this huge, big marketing thing. Actually, they're huge in marketing over, not in Canada, I believe, but they still pointed at define their advantages in the U.S. and use that to their advantage. Because I'm telling you, I see an Aldi on the same road as a Walmart. And I can't imagine how intimidating that would be as a business owner. Walmart has everything. It's a one-stop shop. It's huge. Mm-hmm. But how many times do you hear people complaining about the service? Every single day. So what's your advantage? And I've already talked about this as well, the targeting. It all circulates, you guys. When it comes to branding, it's not this huge, complicated thing. The most complicated part about branding is sticking to it, honestly. On those days where you feel like you want to quit, keep going the next day. That's the hardest part of branding. But like I said, what they need, what you provide, how do you communicate effectively so the person understands that you are the best provider for what they need. Love languages, pain points, habits. Love languages, how do they respond to different things? Some people love that abrasive tone, that harsh, loud, yelling at you. You need to get this done. I ain't like that. Don't yell at me. Don't tell me what to do. I don't live my life like that. I'm not going to live my social media like that. I understand kind of accountability, but branding in that tone, it don't work for me. Mm-mm. Every now and then you can drop some tough love up in there, but every single day you up here like, y'all don't want this, y'all don't want this. Look, I'll be over here like, girl, don't yell at me. I don't like that type of tone. So my love language is understanding, but not allowing me to sit in my mediocrity. Like letting me know there is more out there, talking about the things that are out there. We are going to accomplish some things like that today. Oh, you didn't meet your goal last week, but we here this week. Let's do it. Don't lay down on your goals. Go out here and get it. Don't wait on somebody. Like that's my love language. Tell me if I didn't meet the mark last week, that next week is still here, or let's do it today. That's my love language. Pain points. When you start talking to your clients' pain point, that doesn't mean that you just go online and everything you say, you're reminding them of their doomsday every single day. You don't make it look like, oh my God, my life really is horrible. Like, dang. You don't want them to feel that way, but you want to touch on the things that they are struggling with and be the solution for it. So like a perfect example for brand design, their pain points. I know you're tired. I know you're up tired every night trying to figure out how to design your brand. I can help you. Stop it. I'm going to let you go to bed. Just send me over. You got the message. I got the design. Send it over. You're tired. That's a pain point. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired. Especially, I don't care if you have kids or not. Being a woman, we are naturally nurturers. We are naturally the people that go in and take charge in any situation. We see something needs help, we jump in, right? And then at the end of the day, we sit back like, well, dang, now I got to do my stuff.
Right.
now I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I understand like being tired or, not having enough time that we think or not prioritizing our time the best that we can. I know that's a pain point. So that's when I jump in when it comes to consulting and brand design. I know you have run out of time. You don't have time to be doing this all day. If you work on credit consulting, why are you spending 2 hours on a graphic in 30 minutes delivering your client's credit report? That don't make any sense. So just understanding their pain points and how I can jump in there. Habits. I talked about my Instagram. I love Instagram. Their social media habits, their networking habits. Where is this person? What type of things do they do? Do they like to shop? Are they even online? Like, what is it that this person likes to do? I know my person stays up late. I like people like that like to stay up late with me because that's just who I am. And I can communicate with that person. I have been trying to, work early in the morning, and that's been a whole nother thing, trying to balance that out. But that's part of branding, is making it make sense as well. You want it to make sense for your clients and the people that you attract, but it has to make sense in your life too. You don't want it to be this thing that is just eating away at your life just because it does work. It still has to make sense. It has to make sense, okay? Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna unmute just for a second. Well, I can't. Anybody have any questions or anything?
I turned mine down on the
Nobody? Okay, I'm gonna you can unmute yourself or mute however you want to. Okay, let's keep going. So be willing to serve without perfection. And that's another part of branding and business running, really. That is my biggest obstacle.
Mine too.
Obstacle. In life, you can apply that to life. Have you ever wanted to do something, but you feel like it's not this perfect time, it's not the perfect thing to do, or you don't have all these perfect elements in place, and you're like, I can't do it yet. I just can't do this. And a lot of times it's things that are just so unimportant. It's things that don't even matter, that won't even get in the way of serving who needs to be served. When you get to a place, and I'm going to tell you in all honesty, like now I'm in this place where I understand the things that I have to be delivering. I can't wait on a logo. I can't wait on because whoever I'm trying to reach is still suffering or still dealing with whatever I'm trying to bring them out of. I can't sit and wait on perfection. Now, that don't mean you just go out here and look like a whole mess. You don't just jump out here without thinking of what it is, collectively what you have together. But you don't stand back. I've seen so many people that have amazing things to offer, and they will stop, not do it because they don't have a logo. You can get logos from anywhere. You can just use your name, a text logo or anything. That's where the whole "my brand is not my logo" came from, because I was running into so many women that had these winning solutions in my eyes. I met one, she does something for stay-at-home moms, and I was just wowed. I was on the phone with her doing a consult, and she was like, yeah, I love the togetherness and all that. And she was just talking real stuff, like stuff that I understood as a stay-at-home mom. Talking about how things aren't as glamorous as people may make it. It's not cute. It's not cute all the time. Just talking about those things and being truly authentic in that space. And I said, girl, let me tell you something. I said, I don't care what you put on that video. You ain't got to have no logo. You can get on there with a bonnet on. And I'm going to be like, yes, girl. Yes. Oh, my God. Like somebody said it. Put them kids in the bed. Like, I'm tired of them too. I'm tired of them too. Like your audience, your target, they are waiting on you and that solution and the things that you need to be saying to them. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So now we understand that we have to know who we are. We have to study the people that we serve, right? Because it's not just about us. It's about them. How do we reach and help them, right? And that's what it is. When you're in a business, everybody likes to use the memes and the sayings, I fired my boss. But honestly, when you get in business, you have more than one boss. Because who do you think is going to be driving your business? The people that purchase from you, your clients. Those are the people that are important. It's not all about you. And it's not this, oh, I fired my boss. Freedom has it is defined by everybody. Your own definition of freedom will vary from the next person. But honestly, I ain't never had so many bosses in my life. Bruh. So get out of that mindset of thinking when you get into business or you start branding and all that, it's all about you and you don't have to worry about nobody else. You have to truly understand that when you are branding and you are running a business, you are here to serve in some capacity. I don't care how you want to word it. If you don't call it serve, that's fine. But I promise you, you have to give them something that is a solution in some type of way. Okay. So as far as like the visual identity of your brand, once you get all of that out the way, we know who we are. We know what they are. We know what they need. Then you, in my opinion, can start doing the aesthetics of your brand, your logos, fonts, all of that. Start with your colors. Colors definitely have a tone. I changed my colors. If you go on my Instagram, me and Tina discussed this. I leave my stuff up so you can see the journey of my brand and how I started in this place where I was just kind of following and doing what everybody else was doing. And then I moved into what Anita wanted to do and what my people responded to. And once I did that, it just like everywhere. It was already going good, but the type of person that I was getting changed drastically. And it's still changing as I fine tune. So brands, the colors, there's even color wheels that you can look up and look at the tone and see what type of emotion they put out and what kind of people they attract and how people respond to certain colors. Then you have logos. Y'all, when it comes to getting your logo, I'm not gonna lie, I was the loudest logo maker in the entire world because the bulk of my initial clients were people that were in the beauty industry. So people that are in the beauty industry, they don't have a uniform that they have to wear to work. A lot of them show up in a space where you can, have you ever been somewhere and you've seen someone, they have on all black, they got funky hair, they look real edgy and nice and all of that. And you can identify them as someone who is in the beauty industry, like they do hair, they do makeup, they do that. So doing the loud logos for them was fitting. But still, you're able to do a logo and not put everything about your business in that logo. Because I'm going to tell you, I would get a makeup artist and we would discuss the concept of the logo. They're like, okay, I wanted to have my name and I want a makeup brush. I want a lipstick. I want a mascara icon on it, like 50 million things on this one logo, like everything in the world that you can imagine. It's like we look at a logo and think, oh, I don't want them to not understand what I do. But your logo, like, don't put too much pressure on your logo. That's what your marketing is for. You have so much content beyond that logo to tell your story. That's what it's for. You don't just post that logo and be like, okay, logo, go do your work, girl. No, that's not how it works. That's what your content is for, to be able to tell the story, take them on a journey, okay? Website. Understand your marketing first. A website is great, but if you can't drive traffic to it, either through SEO, meaning you ranking in the search engines, or marketing, driving the traffic to it, there's no need for it. Unless you just have it as a placeholder to drop info in or something you need it real quick, just, to save time. But a fully branded website, I would not waste the money on it until you understand marketing, because it's really pointless until you understand marketing and copy and your wording and the tone of your brand. You won't even know what to put on the website anyway, if that makes sense. You have to get traffic to it. There's no point in having a nice website that ain't nobody gonna see. And copy, that's just what the website wording. When you get it, you have to have wording on it. What are you gonna tell people? What is the goal of having your website? What is the whole point? When people get on there, what are they going to be doing in there? What's the end result of them going, besides to say, oh, Nita got a website. So, okay, so what are we going to do on there? And I think those are the initial thoughts when you running a business. I know for me, in all honesty, I really thought once you get a website, you popping. You popping. Like you are already like truly in business because you got a website, but it's the furthest from the truth. It has to serve a purpose. Otherwise, it's just an interactive flyer, honestly. Online social proof. Build your authority by educating. Can't give away too much. And I've had people tell me, oh, I looked at your video on YouTube or whatever. Thanks for helping me or whatever. You build credibility in your authority and all of that in your industry when you educate people on your subject. A lot of times especially when you figure out something new in your business or the bulk of your services, you don't want to just hold all that in because you think, oh, if I tell them, they're going to do it. What they going to need me for? But I'm going to tell you what happens. People realize that you really know what you're talking about. Like, I don't want to just take your word for it. I don't want to just take your testimonial that you could have got from your cousin TT. I want to know that you know what you're talking about before I even approach you. Because let's all be honest. We all talk about how we don't have time to waste, right? So eliminate that on both ends. You want people to approach you knowing that you don't want to get somebody in your space or on your consult button or whatever, and then you have to prove yourself to them. Or you don't want someone searching through trying to figure out if you know what you're talking about on your page and all that. So it just kind of eliminates all of the assumption, because you know what assumption is, right? Mm-hmm. So build your authority by educating. You'll see me offer some free things or branding tips or whatever. You can't give away too much, because let's be honest about people that it's not their expertise. Like, design is not their expertise. Even if I give them the bulk of this, if I tell you how to do the website, I sit down with you and I tell you from A to Z how to build this website, I guarantee you're going to get to the house, you're going to try, you're going to get to C and be like, no, that's why I don't do this. I need to call Anita back and get this website built. Because they truly understand the value of what you're doing. Personal development. Woo, Pam.
We can talk about this one for the rest of the way.
Me and Pam have a funny story about personal development, child.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to tell y'all something. Pam was going to come on here and start cussing, but I told her, no, but seriously, personal development, I have that on the end slide, but it definitely should be number one in your business. And when I say personal development, I mean like true personal development, not just the awareness. You know, we all know about our ain't-ish ways sometimes, and we don't do nothing about it. Awareness is just the first step to kind of understanding what it is that we need to either adjust or change or whatever, you know, or completely stop doing.
Right.
But personal development, and there's so many levels to that. Taking care of yourself, number one. That was in my business, like starting it, I was going from this place of, oh, I'm this mom, I want to reclaim my identity. But it started this strange addiction of attention almost, where I was just like running. Ooh, give me that. Ooh, you trust me. I like that. But it turned into overworking. And it just turned into another family that I was taking care of, right? Instead of just staying up and not taking care of what I like to do or what I need to do for myself, for my family, I started doing that for my business. Everything else just started falling apart. I'm like, well, I got a deadline. I got to send this email. I need to do this first. And so it started turning into this addiction almost that I had to correct and find that harmony up in there. Like, girl, you are eliminating one problem and creating another one. That's because my personal development wasn't fully secure. I still wasn't secure in who I wanted to be. I love to serve, that's me, but I had to get that balance. Like, girl, you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody, and you need to make sure you on that list. You out here you out here with barely nubbing out here trying to save people in a war. You can't do that. You can't operate in that space because you'll eventually start looking crazy. It will show up. It will definitely show up. Personal development. Also in your personal life, it's not just business. In your personal life, how do you operate outside of business? Are you showing up in business as one person and showing up at the house as somebody else?
Right.
I ain't saying I did it before, but.
All right. Sip coffee on that one.
How do you show up? Like, who are you really? That's how you, and I understand, operating according to the space that you're in, because you have to act a certain way. You wouldn't go somewhere and acting all blah, 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 in a setting that is, more tone and all of that. But are you a completely different person when you're in business, and where you're at home. And when I say that, I mean your morals. Like, who are you at the core? Like, how are you at the core in these spaces? Is it really true to who you are? And your personal development will help you with that. And that doesn't mean that, oh, I just decided today I'm going to be a better person, and tomorrow everything is going to be the way it should be. It's a journey.
Yes.
It is a whole journey, and it can be so draining. And I'll be transparent with you. I'm an open book when it comes to personal development, and the things that I had to change about myself, and the things I've learned in business, and why you have to learn how to not depend on everybody else's validation, everybody's woo, woo, woo. You can't depend on that. It's great to have. You should have a support system. But when something happens and you don't know how to take care of yourself, then what?
Right.
When all the chips fall down and you like searching through the chips looking for yours and ain't nothing there, what do you have that's going to help you with that? Mm-hmm. When you can't call your friend because she's sad, what do you do? Exactly. Are you securing yourself? Because I had to definitely do that, because in business, life is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Life don't care about you running a business. Life don't care about your blog. Life don't care about your new t-shirt line. None of that. Life will show up and be like, oh, that's cute, but let me show you something. You ready? Because it happened to me, and it happens constantly. And I had to grow. Like, I believe that pushed my personal development to a higher priority, is understanding that things are going to happen around me, and I have to learn how to cope. People are going to say things about me, and I have to be secure in myself and know that it's not true. Or not get too big-headed in the positive things that people say about me. Mm-hmm. Embrace it, understand it, but keep it real. You know you better than anybody else when you really stop and be silent and just think, like, who is it? Did I do that? Like, am I? I don't know. I don't really know. Those thoughts that you have when you by yourself and it's quiet, those true thoughts, that's who you are. Mm-hmm. Not what you posting online, not what you said in passing to your friend, what you think at night when everybody else is quiet, the house is done, dinner is up, everything is done, and you have those thoughts in your head. That's who you are. What are you thinking at night? What are you thinking when you're by yourself? What is taking up your quiet time? Women, we really don't have too much quiet time. But when you do have that space when you're thinking about your days or what you have planned or whatever, what are those thoughts? Are they telling you to keep pushing? Are they telling you that you can't do it? Are they talking about somebody else? What is it? That is what defines who you are. And for me, I know I had to pull back and do tunnel vision. Everybody responds to things differently, right? And I know that with me looking left and right, seeing what other people was doing, it was just weighing too much on my mentality. I don't work well like that. Like pulling from too many different sources on how to do things. So I know I had to get tunnel vision and focus on what Nita needs to be doing, because what happened with me, start working on somebody else's goals. Girl, that ain't for you. What are you doing? That is not even for you. Why? Do you need that? Is that in your plan? No. And that's what personal development does. It makes everything that you are working towards, all of your goals, your desires, how you define success, it makes it okay. You stand in that space unapologetically. You don't move. You may get a little wiggly, when you hear somebody say something or something happens, but you go right back to that space and keep trucking. Mm-hmm. Do y'all have any questions so far?
That's what's different.
Somebody said something? Y'all are quiet.
Can they unmute themselves?
I think they can.
Oh, okay.
I muted somebody on the phone, but it's like having feedback.
Okay.
Keep me on don't do Tina, do the number. This is Tina.
Okay.
because I can hear you better on my phone. So we called you on the phone for audio, and we got you on Tina for video.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, do y'all have? I know I kind of ran through that, but do y'all have any questions?
Yeah, we're really enjoying this.
Yeah, we are.
Let me.
We're ready for camera.
Who's ready to design
They
something?
count down the camera.
What y'all want me to start?
I'm still trying to figure out my logo. And
Can y'all hear Michelle?
Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
can you hear me now?
I can.
I mean, this is helping me because I'm still trying to figure out my brand and the colors for my brand.
Mm-hmm.
So this is helping me a lot to just even narrow it down. So I know what I want, but I just don't want it busy, I guess.
Nita,
So
are
this is
you
helping me a
able
lot.
to show us? I'm sorry, Michelle. Were you still saying something?
No, I was just saying it was helping me. I mean, this is helping me a lot just to narrow my own brand down and get, feel a little bit more comfortable with. I like that what you have on the screen. Okay, you right.
Can
You
y'all
wrote that
see my
down.
screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start from the top when it comes to designing your brand. And don't worry, I'm recording this. I'm going to stop it and then start it. That way